Welcome back to the Unanimous Decision Podcast. I'm your host, DPalm. Follow me on Twitter at DPalm66. Follow the show on Twitter at UDPod. Follow the entire MTR Network at, you guessed it, the MTR Network. You found us, don't lose us. Subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts for absolutely free. iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're listening to us, subscribe where you are and leave those 5-star reviews. If you go to iTunes, it takes 2 seconds. Leave 5-star review. You say something nice, I'm reading it on the air. Let's be honest, you said something mean, I'm probably going to read it on the air. I'm pretty much a glutton for punishment. And that's why you're getting an end of the week podcast. You're going to have another one fresh Monday, but I can't even lie. I had this whole thing put out where I was like, it occurred to me that it was a big 4 pay-per-view, but nah. Becky Lynch on Monday Night Raw set the world on fire. And I had one of our loyalist listeners come out, reach out to me and say, I want to talk about it. I said, whew, thank goodness, because I need something to talk about it with. We've got Taz on. How you doing, Taz?
I am doing fine, Mr. Palm. How are you doing today, young man?
Look, it's Friday. I'll be honest. So we were supposed to record about 30 minutes ago. I had to push it back. My wife was late coming home from work. But the reason I couldn't just leave the idiot dogs in the living room is because it is November 15th. It is approximately 36 degrees outside. And I decided it was chili season. So I made my first bowl of chili for the year. So I have a very happy wife right now. I've done that part of this job right. And right now we're going to do the next part of the job right and talk about some sports. Before we get into the Becky Lynch of it all, I got to talk to you because I got you on the podcast. I got you on the air because you're an Auburn football fan.
See, what happened was.
What happened was, how about them dogs?
See, what happened was, let's take this in chronological order.
Okay, all right.
See, y'all was okay. See, I was at my little friend's football game for the little Pee-wee league, and so I was like, okay, I got the iPad, I got Direct TV, let's get this. I'm on. One of my coworkers text me, how about them dogs? I said, y'all ain't up but 3-0. We got this. I said, oh, we scored a touchdown. How about what them Tigers doing? War Eagle. Then I said, okay, Gus, what was that? What was that called, Gus? Okay, Gus, don't do this, Gus. Okay, all right, Gus. What? Okay, Gus, don't do that. What? You punt, Gus. Gus, we got 3. You punt it, and Gus, what is you? Okay, Gus. All right, we up now. It's 14. Okay, then 21. Okay, Gus, that was a 7-point swing, Gus. What are you doing? Okay, Gus. All right, let me cut the iPad off. Run, AJ, run. Yeah, run. I can. Okay. And y'all started blowing up the timeline in Texas, and I'm like, okay, Gus, you gotta go. Gus need to.
You throwing Gus out the club? Gus took this team. They were ranked when Georgia beat them. They I don't know they still ranked. They were ranked when Georgia beat them.
No.
They haven't looked terrible this year. Like I think, and for part of it is I have adjusted expectations for y'all because you're the other team in Alabama, and it's a talent-rich state, but it's still the other. And I'm not being trying to be negative. I'm just saying when it comes to recruiting, y'all got to pick up what Alabama don't get.
And see, the thing is that, okay, so we got what we call the football triangle. So You got Texas, LSU, Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. Well, that's more than a triangle. But, Gus has been sticking to Georgia. He don't want to venture out to Texas. I don't know why he don't come up to Tennessee because, as everybody know me, and who knows me from the Morning Jones, fuck Peyton Manning in Tennessee. Go T. Martin, and I remember that. Never forget, Phil Fulmer didn't win with Peyton. Everybody keep loving Peyton, but you got to remember, Phil Fulmer didn't win with Peyton. It was T. Martin that got him undefeated in the championship. But I digress. So he don't want to go up to Tennessee, and Memphis is coming up. Thank you, Lord, praise Jesus. We need something good to talk about. What's up? Shout out to Evan Barnes. But why won't you the third best team in the SEC right now? The third best team. Jimbo, he ain't gonna get nothing out of Texas because Texas is coming up. So why don't you venture out of Georgia? Not degrading your state, but venture out of Georgia, man.
No, and you're right because that's the one thing. I was very loudly don't fire Rick. The one thing that Kirby has done better than Rick ever did was recruit the hell out of Georgia, and especially Atlanta.
Yes, and Atlanta is 2 hours away from Auburn.
Yo, okay, hold on. This is a real question. So I'm cool with Big Boy's family. Like one of his little brother's one of my good friends. How did y'all lose out
How
on
did you miss
his
that?
son?
How did you miss that?
Yo, how is he going to Oregon?
How did you?
His sister is at Auburn.
How did you miss that? Georgia
What are
missed
we
that too.
doing?
Now, Georgia missed that too. But how did you miss that?
Look, he a nice little back. He goes to Woodward. Good running back. I don't know if he would, just because of Georgia, the way Georgia's been recruiting. I don't know if it would have been smart for him to even try to be recruited by Georgia,
But
just to see the
still,
field wise. I think that I can't believe he can go to Auburn. Like that legitimately surprised me.
yes. How did you? I mean, you missed him, and then it was another running back. Oh God, what is the kid's name that y'all had? He was like a top 10 in your state that they
Mm-hmm.
missed out on. I'm like, how are you missing this? And then you, okay, in house. Where are you going? I understand you're going out house to get your big names. That's why I always had a problem with Calipari because he never recruited in Memphis. So why are you going out of big? You right there in Auburn. Auburn has a top school high football team. You Tuscaloosa, Montgomery. You got all these talents, especially for your line. Because God, Auburn line is terrible, terrible, terrible.
Well, look at Auburn season though. Like they started off, they beat Washington. That was a good game. And then they run to
Are we
LSU. Was
gonna
getting hot
are
in
we
the
gonna count
season.
that game? Are we gonna count that game? Are we gonna really count that a Washington game?
You're
We're
right.
gonna
I mean, it looked good at the time.
did it look good, Daniel? Let's be honest. Did it look good?
Let's go on the next. Y'all lose to LSU. Not a bad loss. LSU being what
Yeah,
we find out what they are.
yeah. Like R.I.P. Dennis Green. They are who we thought they were. Alabama
Yo,
taught us that.
I forgot y'all lost to Tennessee. Y'all
And
had the
you
fire
know,
blast.
and you know, Steve trolled us. Steve trolled me good.
He had
Yeah,
to.
he trolled me good, and you know how I feel about. It's just like you rooting for Georgia Tech. It's like me rooting for Tennessee. That's just not gonna happen.
I hate the color orange. Like that's how much I hate Tennessee.
I told my son play football. I said, baby, you got two choices to go to school if you're gonna continue to play football. It's not gonna be Texas because orange, obviously. It's not gonna be Tennessee. So you got Ole Miss or Memphis. That's it.
It's
He said,
important. You gotta have rules. That's important to have rules.
I said, if you want me to pay for this, these are the only two options you have.
Well,
Ole
guess what?
Miss
Those
and
are the only
Memphis.
two options there are.
He said, well, Mom, I don't want to play football no more. I said, good decision, baby. Great. God loves you for that. Good decision.
Well, okay, let's say they get Malzahn out the paint. Who replaces him? Like, because, and I know it's always fun. Like when we grabbed Kirby, I was still very wary of it, but apparently he learned what he learned. Who is the hot new coordinator? Or you know what the answer is?
Jesus.
Lane Kiffin.
Mm, mm,
The answer is
mm.
Lane.
What is their record down there at the little, what is it, Florida Atlantic he's at?
It doesn't even matter. I have no idea. But you're right. I mean, I just think, but who else is going to come in? Because Malzahn, he's kind of done weird things with his job. The recruiting been so up and down. It's not the most attractive job on
At
paper.
all. The thing is that between Auburn, Georgia, and Alabama, we've always had running backs. Always.
It's true.
Find me a running back. I'm going to wait. Find a running back.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not going to argue with that. Like it's kind of jarring, like what's gone on there because that was one thing y'all always produced. And sometimes y'all had two of them. Like, it was horrible.
It's like either what was it, Chubb and what's name had it for a few years, and then
Keith Marshall.
and then Carrion came and he had it for a few years, and then of course Alabama had that dumb that running backs with what's the boy Henry and all those. It was always we had running backs no matter what. We had a running back and a mobile quarterback. The little Strom kid, he's okay. He's okay.
If you're going to start listing out Auburn's problems, he's not in the top 10.
He's not in the top. He's not in the top 10. He's like 11B.
Is there a coach out there who's the answer? You can't take Kirby, so don't ask.
No, and I'm not gonna tell. I would go. You know what? I would go pluck one of Michigan's little recruit. Who's the Michigan coach? The black one. Is he the offensive or defensive coordinator?
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I would like that actually because I think going outside the conference needs to happen. happened because so many people inside the conference are like, well, I'm going to try to get the Nick Saban. That hasn't worked yet. He isn't seeming to be beaten by lesser versions of himself.
And we see what happened because, LSU, Georgia, nobody has beaten him. The only person that's beaten Nick Saban is, unfortunately, up in Clemson. And that was because of Sean.
And to be fair, y'all beat him last year, which I still don't understand how it happened.
Look, I tell you, we was talking about it in the office today. I said, we're still partying off the 50-yard field punt.
You have to.
We're still partying. I said, last year was a fluke. We're still, because UCF came in there and skull drugged us in the bowl game. So that was a fluke. And then, we're not going to talk about the SEC championship game.
We can, if you'd like to. This is your time. We've got all the time in the world to talk about the SEC title game.
Is the game on? Oh, that's highly questionable. No.
I do believe Georgia earned that sweet, sweet retribution. But, we could talk about the problems at Auburn all day. Let's talk about some solutions, because you and I are both fans of the Squared Circle, and Survivor Series is coming up. And I got to be honest, for the first time in my life, the hottest angle on the planet is two women. And by two women, I mean one woman, Becky the Man Lynch. For those of you who don't watch Raw.
For her the man credit.
Oh, of course. Always and forever. Nothing but respect for my president. Please believe that.
Thank you.
So on Monday Night Raw, they're building up to Survivor Series, which is basically turned into a battle for brand dominance. They had to kind of rush the build because of certain crown jewelish events. And
what was it again? You broke up. You said something about a jewel.
It's very hard to understand. And in doing so, they're touting a match between the women's champion on Raw, Ronda Rousey, and the women's champion on SmackDown, the Man Becky Lynch. And Raw went off the air. It looked like it was going to go, because they've kind of been bragging about, we're going to stop going this overrun. They still went over a little, but not the 10 minutes. And they said, we're going to end with a match between Sasha and Bayley to decide the last member of the Women's Survivor Series team for Raw. It ends up being a smosh finish, and they appoint someone to the team. But the big angle that gets shot after this is Becky Lynch has Ronda Rousey in an armbar backstage.
Crying. Oh, hell, why? Stop.
And then the Raw women flood the ring. The SmackDown women flood the ring, taking it to the Raw women.
Let's back up like 30 seconds.
Back on up.
Becky Lynch music came on. Did you see the crowd? We're
going to talk about these crowd reactions at the very end, because that last shot of Raw is goosebumps. Anyway, so Becky's music hits. You're correct. The Raw women flood the ring to kind of defend themselves, and the SmackDown women attack from all sides. A huge scrum. Everybody's, they're fighting. They're doing the thing. At some point, Becky Lynch gets hit in the face, which we will be breaking down later.
Because I seen the video.
And all of a sudden, there's color. And you're like, wait a second. Is this 1988? Is it NWA? Why is the man bleeding from the face?
Lots of color. Lots of red on there.
Lots of color. Like Cornette was calling it.
I'm like, wait a minute. Did she have a razor? Did she just cut herself? I'm like, where did all that blood come from? I'm thinking, the usual cut on the head, all that stuff. But I look again.
That's outlawed in WWE now. They don't let them gig anymore. Like, that's how, immediately I was like, oh, is this hard? Someone hit Becky and she's bleeding. And the SmackDown women basically run roughshod over the Raw women. Becky ends up walking up to the crowd.
That one rough shot. As Bo Money Jones said, that was a beat 'em down.
You know what? That's a very fair point. It wasn't even close. It was a beat 'em down. For real. Because it ends with Ronda in the crowd. Her music playing. The entire arena singing along on their feet while she's holding her hand up with blood smeared across her face.
With the come at me bitch pose. Come at me bitch.
What about that inspired you to say we gotta talk?
As I like to call it, I've been in and out of man soap. That's what I like to call it.
It truly is.
I've been in and out of man soap. I watch the big ones, WrestleMania one. When I'm down playing, Army, we get them for free. So I'm like, okay, let me see what's going on, since I don't have to pay for it. So I'm like, okay, I pop back in watching. I watch that tragedy of the Undertaker streak losing. Pop back in every now and then. And then my brother said, "Hey, I bought the WWE. You know how we do." I said, "Oh, cool. We can watch it together as one big Netflix family."
There
So
you
I was
go.
like, let me see what's going on. So I started watching it, and then one of my friends on Twitter, Lena, no, as MJG chick, I tagged you in it when all this stuff happened, and she's like, "Oh, girl, this is getting good," and she hit me to what was going on because, like I said, I've come in because I was one of
Right,
them.
right, right.
I was one of, I think the last time I steady watches right before Rock left permanently.
Okay.
That was the last time I was steady watching it. And when Brock Lesnar came in, then they did try to do the Goldberg hype. I'm like, okay, I'm done, man. So, your plot lines are getting a little dry now. Time for me to go. Let me go and go. And Lesnar, I wasn't a fan of. I'm not a fan of Lesnar as a wrestler, but I can. As long as Heyman is on that mic, I'm cool.
Right, right. Heyman does a lot for that package. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was a kind of fan of him in MMA, so I was like, let me go see how he's doing. And I was like, I heard your stories talking about how he, owns, his camp when he's doing teaching wrestling. I'm like, oh, let me go see what because you brought me back in. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, let me go see what's going on with men. So I'm like, cool. So I started watching the women, and then I heard about the next thing. I'm like, oh, Vince is letting this go down. I'm first thing I'm like, oh, Vince is gonna let this go. So I started watching a few next, and I seen, how all the Garrets. I seen Becky Lynch coming through. I'm like, okay, push her, push her, push her, keep pushing her.
Right.
And then I said, okay, well, let me sit down. I start watching, who was it? Eclipse? I can't think of that. They do the
Ember Moon.
yeah. So I was like, okay, we got black women. Oh, the black woman is not somebody's valet. Okay, all right, let's. Oh, I'm here. I'm here. I'm like, oh, we finna push a lesbian storyline. Oh, never mind. I said you almost had me with the lesbians. Okay, let me go on back. Cause you put lesbians on my screen, I'm gonna watch. I don't care who they are. So I'm like, okay, I'm back in. I'm like, okay. So I was like, well, let me see how this woman's pay per view is gonna be because they was hyping it up. I'm like, okay, they announced a woman's pay per view. I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, yeah, women. And one of my guys, everybody hated him, but I think he, I'm friends with Tom Castillo. He used to be a writer on Raw, and everybody, a lot of people didn't like him because he came from the soap world. And I was like, it's man soap, a soap
That's
writer.
all it is.
Why would he used to get flack because if you follow him on Twitter, he used to get a lot of flack because of the storylines and nobody liked the storylines. He's like, as a soap writer, a storyline just doesn't develop when you want it to. He said when I came in, I brought my expertise as being a soap writer for, he wrote for As the World Turns, Young and Restless. He wrote for all the soaps. So
Okay.
he brought his expertise in, and then how wrestling Twitter is, or wrestling fans are, they didn't appreciate it. So he left because he was getting bombarded. So I was following along. I'm like, he tweeted me. He said, Taz, this women's event's gonna be great because we've been building this for like the last 3 or 4 years. I'm like, okay, let me see what's going on. I'm like, I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna give it a chance. I watched that pay per view, the women's evolution.
Mm.
It was great. It was phenomenal after the last match. It was great from top to bottom. I watched it. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. And I've seen a new talent I haven't seen before. The next championship match, oh my God, that was a beautiful match. I'm
Oh
like,
man, I can't. We're gonna break down NXT War Games coming up in a minute, but yeah, you're right. Kari Sane and Shayna Baszler, so they've got something special there.
they do, and I was like, oh my God. And then when Becky came out and Charlotte, because I didn't like how they was pushing Charlotte over, but she's very talented because I'm like, she's only
Right.
getting over because her last name. But then I watched that match and I'm like, okay, I see it. I get what you're saying about Charlotte. Even though the ref kicked that chair, we ain't gonna talk about that. But
Oh, come on.
you seen that. Even you
It,
tweeted
it,
about it.
look, he's the third part of the dance. It's one big dance. He played his part. I love it.
He played his part, and it was beautiful. I'm like, God, last man standing match, and how she did it, and all this other stuff. It was so much showmanship. It was back and forth. It was like you said, it was a dance. It was a beautiful salsa dance. It was everybody's doing their part, and I thought
Mhm.
Charlotte was gonna win. But when Becky did what she did, I'm like, you know what? The man. That's the man.
That's the man.
That's the man. And then that Rousey match came on. I'm like, okay.
It's going to
I
be
said,
interesting to see her on Sunday because this is the first of her matches that will not be heavily choreographed beforehand. Like every one of her matches, I guess for the Bella for Nikki match, they worked in the PC for about a week, hitting all the beats. And I know people were down on like her for that. I thought it was a fine match. I think she's doing a very good job in her storytelling. I love she doesn't have a face in peril like aspect of her yet, but I think she's working on it. And I think if she's going to show it, Charlotte's going to bring it out of her because this is
Charlotte doesn't play. This is she learned from the best. She learned from the best.
That name means something in a wrestling ring. That Flair name means something. A lot. So.
And I've, like I said, I'm from Memphis, so I had, I'm down here. I was here when Flair did the Jerry Lawler on the rope. That's what started everybody was doing the figure four on the rope. I was here. Yeah. I was there. So I've seen all the wrestlers come through. Like when Rocket Maivia came through with the little blue armbands and the trunk, I've seen all that. So I know good wrestling when I see it. And like you said, Ronda, she has a little bit more work to do for me because the twins, they're good, but they weren't good enough to carry that match to help Ronda out. Now Charlotte, that's a whole different animal.
And Ronda's come a long way in a couple months, but you're right. Can she keep up with Charlotte? I think from even just a storytelling perspective is going to be kind of my story. So Raw happens, you get the text, you get the tweets. What about Becky grabbed you in that night?
I hate that they compared her to Stone Cold, but when they did that picture side by side of her and Stone Cold in the face, I was like, got it. Because like Stone Cold, she can face or she can heel, or she can be in between, and she still can capture the fans. Because she took, like she said, I showed up to your show and took your show.
Right.
She showed up and on her own show. She takes over her own show. And I don't know if you want to get at the end of SmackDown, which is through a whole cataclysm of different things happening for Survivor Series coming in. But she showed up and took over her show, her other show when she had to bow out. But she took over Raw. And it's rare that a SmackDown artist comes to Raw and take over because I've always been told those two totally different promotions. They're the same company, but they're two totally different promotions, fan base. And it's like 305 Live, NXT, Raw, SmackDown. They're all different fan bases. And for Becky,
I'll say this: not even a SmackDown superstar. I can't think of many Raws that have ended in the last 5 years where the crowd is that hot. She captured their imagination, and you're right that you go back to the picture of Stone Cold during WrestleMania 13 and the bloody face passing out in the sharpshooter. This was her moment. This was that, and it happened because Nia Jax might be the most unsafe worker in the history of professional wrestling.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that.
This is not, and the thing about it is, and I've never taken a bump in my life. I've never done this. So if you're saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, I will happily bow out of the conversation. However, I have these things called eyes. And my eyes have shown me that in the last, I think it's just this past year, she's injured a lot of people. Like a lot of people.
A lot of people.
This is not a once in a while thing. And the fan vitriol has been, I think, a bit much. I think that people are being over the top because it's the internet. But I think it's a fair point to ask is, would Nia Jax benefit from, maybe going back to developmental and working on some of her things? Because I think she's just stronger than she thinks. Like there was the moment where she destroyed Bayley's shoulder before SummerSlam.
God, that was brutal.
She missed the catch on Charlotte before WrestleMania. So Charlotte literally just did a moonsault on the floor. Like there are 3 or 4 moments this year where I've had to say maybe Nia should go tighten up somewhere just for the safety of others. Because if Brie Bella makes a mistake with Liv Morgan like she did a couple weeks ago and gives her a concussion, it's a timing issue. It's something that happened, but it's avoidable in the future. If Nia Jax just can't gauge her own strength, she is not when Brie Bella messes up, it's a smaller mistake than if Nia Jax messes up.
Very, and the thing with Nia, I don't want to say she's mm, okay. I'm gonna say it. She's getting by on name. Let's be honest. The person who's always at the ringside for big events, Rock's mom,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to get that Rock fan base by not getting Rock there. Dwayne's there. So who do you bring in there? They bring in his mom. So she has that name recognition from the Maivia side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're right. She needs to go back down. I would send her back to 305.
So yeah,
To
down
start.
to NXT where she can, because she just needs to be in the ring every day. I think maybe, and again, never done it, never been on the road, never made a town, probably never will, probably because we all have dreams.
Yes, we do.
But I got to think that the controlled environment of the PC is the place where you would go to fix things that are wrong. It's where people go when they're rehabbing and coming back to the ring. She's not going to be the lead of any major main storylines going into the Mania season, I don't think, unless you introduce these tag belts and you give them to her and
I think
Tamina.
that's what they're doing. They're going to introduce those tags belts because it didn't make no. I didn't see her turning on Amber. I didn't see that. It didn't.
Right.
It didn't make no sense. So unless you're introducing those tag team titles, that's the only way I can see it. And they will dominate that area if they separate it. If they combine it like I've been seeing people talk about it, I can't get that. So they have to separate the titles. And like she has to go back down. She has to go back down. Like when a pitcher or a basketball player they hurt themselves, they start all over. They get back and get in shape and learn how to do things. So she has to go back down. So like for me, they teach us combatives, and we had to learn how to fall and do all these different things in order for they start teaching us striking. And when they teach us striking, we start open hand, but them open hands hurt. But they teach us how to control our punches unless we're in a dangerous situation.
Right.
So when they teaching us combatives, they teach us, like I said, they fall to shrimp, all this other stuff, and they teach us the open hand hit. And like I had to realize this is training, because when I got hit the first time, the nigga came out of me, and the North Memphis nigga came out of me. I had to say, "Ooh, this girl hit me. She must don't know. I know nigga fool. I will beat this bitch down." And I had to think, "Oh, this is just training. Ooh, praise Jesus. This is just training. Look at God working with me today. He is not done." So you have to learn each step, and I think she's probably forgotten a few steps, or instinct takes over sometime, and she forget that she's entertaining the crowd. But that hit, I don't know if you've seen the video of it. That hit was, whew.
It's not a. When they say she broke her face, like she gave her concussion and broke her nose, like this is not a forearm slipped and you caught an elbow. This is not that. This is a straight right. And WWE caters to mainstream attention. There's an article on Forbes now that says Becky Lynch injured by Nia Jax, who's developing a reputation as an unsafe worker. I was Googling this because I wanted to go to the Reddit thread, but the fact that Forbes is the first response for Nia Jax, and it's in this light, can't make Vince McMahon very happy. So a couple of Reddit threads have collected some of the injuries she's involved with in the last 2 years. Charlotte missed doing a moonsault and Nia didn't catch her. Charlotte got her head spiked in the same match to Nia's knee because the move is a shoulder breaker, not a skull breaker. She just missed her. There's an article mentioning about Bayley missing her shoulder after being thrown by Nia, causing her to miss SummerSlam. Nia botches an elbow drop on the Bayley because Bayley was sitting up and wasn't ready to take the bump. Nia delivering a backbreaker wrong, landing on the wrong knee when she was wrestling Asuka. Zelina Vega, who got injured in Evolution and missed a SmackDown overseas taping, missed that taping because she received a concussion during the Battle Royal Evolution when she was thrown out by Nia Jax. I don't think it's a situation where she doesn't care. I don't think you can do that. You can travel with these people for that long and build those relationships and not care. But there's got to be mutual trust. There's got to be it's something I hear MMA fighters talking about wrestling. They say, which is more dangerous, MMA or wrestling? They say it's wrestling every time. And you press them and you ask why. They say, in MMA, someone's trying to hurt you. And so you have the capacity to defend yourself. In wrestling, you giving your body to someone else in a level of trust and to perform the art you're working together to create.
Because it's a ballet. It's a ballet.
Exactly. And when you can't trust that person to catch you, or alternatively not punch you in the fucking face, it's going to affect their performance. And so I think, if anything, that they should look into taking her off the road for a while, just so to kind of let some of the bad feelings wash away, and maybe let some of the trepidation go away too. But Becky Lynch, go ahead.
Now I said, but the thing that got me, and Becky Lynch being the man of Twitter now, is that when Nia tweeted, "Did nobody care about my hand?" Becky Lynch said, "Bitch, I ain't forgot. You may put me down, but I ain't forgot."
I really love that. That was
Oh,
the beginning of the Becky Lynch being the man on Twitter, because Ronda Rousey tweeted, had an Instagram post. It was way too long, and it explained about Becky not wrestling. Becky replied on Twitter. I know you haven't heard this tweet yet, so I'm going to read it to you. Becky's reply: Ronnie, too long, didn't read. When I got my face broke, I got up, owned you, then showed up the next day looking to fight some more. When you got your face broke, you hid for a year under your blankie. Your mind is as weak as your jaw, and I'm going to move heaven and earth to destroy both. The man.
Savage.
The man.
The Randy Savage pose. I don't know if you've seen the new meme where it says there's Visage and Savage. I was like, oh, that hurt me. It's true, but it hurt. Because she did hide. When, what's the baby name? She was gone. Holly Holmes.
Holly Holmes, yep. Kicked her right in the face.
Knocked her clean out. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, Ronda's not, oh. And Chris has been talking about it for a long time because I listened to, like I said, you guys were my salvation when I was downwind playing in the desert because of y'all president. So, I had all my podcasts and I was listening. He's like, if Ronda ever fought a boxer, she would be in trouble. And I was like, nah, Ronda. I was like, I want to lay money on this. I'm like, wait a minute. Chris already said if Ronda ever fought a boxer, she'd have a hard time.
Okay. Ooh, she got caught.
And I was like, oh. And I woke it because I'm 25 hours ahead. So I woke up early in the middle of the night, watched. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, this is good. I said, cut the TV off, rolled over, went back to sleep. Well, that didn't end how I thought it would. Well, good luck, girl. Good luck. And she hit. I'm like, girl, why you? Oh, okay, well. And then, had Diana come around where she's this, that, and third. I'm like, she got an ass whoop. That's what that was. That's what that. I'm surprised Ronda didn't bring up when the Brazilian fighter knocked out too, because that was even worse.
I think Becky's saving that for the next time Ronda wants to talk. Like, Becky's got this. When it comes to this talking and this Instagram game, like, Ronda's out of her depth.
Well, and the thing is, it's like she said, it's too long and didn't read, and she's like these what does Kid Fury say? These Instagram statements, these iOS press releases. Yes, he said. She's putting out these iOS press releases. I'm like, I follow her on Instagram. I'm like, girl, rap. I'm hitting with the Dave Chappelle. Wrap it up, B. Come on, quick hits. Come on. I said, let me go see what Becky Lynch said. I said, oh. Well, okay. Good luck with that, Ronda. You're never gonna recover from nothing that Becca is doing to you because, buddy, she is killing you on all social media platforms. I hate to see what Facebook look like if she had it on Facebook.
If you never learn anything from UD Pod, learn this: if you're in a battle of words, don't write a speech. Punchlines, punchlines, punchlines.
Punchlines. And have you seen the Becky 316 T-shirts that are floating out there?
No, but as soon as I find one, I'll be buying one.
I'm trying to see if they make it in a jersey so I can have it as my jersey day because we get jersey day. So I'm like, let me see if they do that in a jersey.
Nice jersey. There you go. That's a call forward thing. That's what that is. Well, let's take a quick second and look at what's coming up this weekend. NXT War Games first. I'll just go through the match card really quickly. Aleister Black is taking on Johnny Gargano, and I'll tell you what, I love watching the NXT takeovers because they're always they're short, they're compact, and all the wrestling is top notch. And
I think it was in and out in an hour and a half.
Oh, it's something like maybe two. Like, it's shorter than a Raw. It's the best thing ever. And you get matches like this. Look, I like this whole Johnny Gargano heel turn storyline. I think it's very entertaining.
It's very good. It's very entertaining.
But I'm here for Aleister Black kicking his head off.
That's my dilemma. That is my dilemma. Because Alistair has good mic, but Johnny, when he turned, I was like, I didn't see that coming. Okay, let me get my popcorn. Let me get that Michael Jackson made popcorn. Let me slide on in and see what we about to do with this. It's gonna be entertaining. It is definitely gonna be an entertaining match, and I'm thinking Johnny's gonna take it.
And the thing is, like, you look at this card, it's only 4 matches. You kind of have to open with this match.
I know, and I'm so proud that they letting the women go to what they got the second to last match, I think.
They've got to, yeah, because the next match is going to be Ciampa versus Dream. And I don't know if Dream's a babyface. I don't know if he's a heel. All I know is
he's entertaining.
Entertain us.
He's entertaining. That's what I love. Like I said, that's what brought me back in is the entertainment. Because like I said, they was so long it was not entertaining, and you had some bad people on the mic, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? So to find some entertainment, I'm like, okay, well, go Velveteen, boy, look at you on that. Look at you,
and the thing about baby. This, we're talking about this in kayfabe a little bit, but I'm gonna take it out. Patrick Clark is 23. Velveteen Dream's 20-3. This kid's gonna be so good for so damn long. I am here for it. Do you follow him on social media?
No, I did. Like I said, the MJG, she's the chick. She pictures, tweets him back in my timeline. And every time I see him, I meant to go hit that follow button, and then NBA Twitter does something, and I'd be like, oh, what is going on here?
It's very distracting. I'll tell you what. He has been teasing on social media Hollywood Dream. He comes out in some Hollywood Dream, like taking more shots at Terry. I know he's not leaving with gold, but I hope he comes out in black and white. Ciampa's going to win it because they got to keep building this Ciampa Gargano finale. But
did he tweet something like "fuck Terry" or something? Or
no, he said no because he came out and he said he was Velveteen Dream and said da-da-da. And Hulk Hogan said something about him. And he said, "Nice try, Terry."
I know I seen something about that. I was like, he said something about "nice try, Terry." I'm like,
"Nice try, Terry." It was the best response to Hulk Hogan I've seen in a very long time. I might have bought the shirt from your boy Cam.
Should there be a response to Hulk Hogan, really?
There shouldn't be. He should be this. I know it happened in Saudi Arabia because that's a whole alternate universe we don't talk about. But I don't want him on television. And I think they've done a very good job of not putting it on. Like, even if that relationship's back, they're not throwing it in our face yet. And I hope they can keep this restraint going through WrestleMania season because that's when it's going to be tested because you got to fill up. I guess they're doing it at
New York. That's what my brother said.
New York. Yeah, in New York. They're doing an outdoor one in New York in April, which I don't know if Vince McMahon believes in global warming, but it might be cold as hell.
Outdoor New York in April.
Like
I mean, I know you. I know you're in New York, and I see it from afar. But have you thought about this? Really?
Vince thought about that money. That's all he thought about. The next match on the card is the two young ladies who we talked about at Evolution having some of the best chemistry in the company. They're wrestling in the 2 out of 3 falls match. Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, with NXT Women's title. I'm not even. Normally I pick these. I'm not picking this one. This is the one I'm just going to.
I'm just going to enjoy it. This all you can do because Shayna's homies, the 2/3 of the whatever they're trying to do, and
right.
Cara. I'm just gonna enjoy it. You can't pick it. I'm just gonna enjoy it.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna say something about Kairi Sane because when she gets called up, I think I hope they don't screw it up. Because my wife, like, very tacitly, like, she watches and she gets involved a little bit. But the first time she saw Kairi Sane, she said, "Why is she a pirate?" I go, "Sit down. Just sit down.
Enjoy the pirate."
She's a pirate. That's it. That's all. There's not that much more depth to it. She just happens to be a pirate.
Just enjoy it. I'm enjoying Shayna clowning her about being the pirate. Enjoy it. It's jokes. I mean, the jokes write themselves. They're right there. They're right there.
Can we have a real hard conversation about how good Shayna Baszler got so fast? She's only been doing this for like 2 years. And everything she does, and the thing about it is I was listening to some old interviews. I think it was an old Bret Hart interview. He says, you need to communicate your character in everything you do. And that's what I think of when I think of Shayna. Everything she does, every step she takes in that ring, every mannerism, every interview, everything she does backstage. I'm like, you know what Shayna Baszler is. She's defined. There are these hard lines of things that she does. Like, for her first few matches, she didn't run the ropes. I don't think she still does.
I don't think Did she run the ropes?
I think
No, I
she ran a
haven't seen
little
her.
bit Mae Young, but she doesn't because she says my character wouldn't do that. She said that. I was like, that's just so. It's something so small but so brilliant that
And it's
attention
very
to
telling.
detail. Mm-hmm.
It's very telling. And I'm, like I said, you put a lesbian in front of me, I'm gonna watch. And I'm not saying anything, but I'm gonna watch. And I was like, oh, well, okay, I didn't see that one. Well, girl, Hercules, go on get it, go on get. You are
So we're not going to
entertaining
pick the
me.
2 out of 3. We're not picking this. I refuse to pick 2 out of 3
No, no.
fall match.
Mm-mm.
Just enjoy it.
How about this? They're gonna split them. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. They're gonna split them.
It sounds like someone's watched wrestling before. And the main event's going to be the War Games match. War Games is the brainchild of Dusty Rhodes. It involves 2 rings. It involves a giant cage. It involves teams. Now they've altered it to where it's 2 teams of 4. The Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong taking on Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and the War Raiders.
I'm trying to see how Ricochet is gonna be mine.
Let me say something. So I went to the NXT tapings in January in Atlanta.
Yeah, I heard you said about that. I listened to that pod when I was catching up.
And it was Ricochet's first match in WWE. I got to see it. And when I watched him hit that 630 and I realized that they were going to let him do that in the WWE, I was like, oh no. Y'all have no idea what's about to happen. Like he's got that rock, he's already got the Rock cosign and everything.
Problems.
And you put him in. Now you're going to give this maniac 2 rings and a cage.
And a cage with an opening in it.
Last year, Adam Cole took a vertical suplex off the top, and they're going to top it. Like that's the thing that kills me is like they did some very cool spots last year, and the knowledge that they have to top it Saturday. It's one of those things where you're kind of chanting, "Please don't die."
That's it. That's all of it. Just if you're gonna hit your head, hit it softly. Hit it softly. Don't, because I mean, that's what I'm saying. Ricochet is. I'm like, how do y'all know what y'all? Okay, I think really when they told Ricochet he was gonna be in, he started rubbing his hands together like, ooh.
He just broke out the notebook he's been carrying around for the last 10 years. So there's a clip of Ricochet on the internet, and we're not going to pick this one either because there's no. Just enjoy War Games. Like this is going to be one of those car crash matches. I imagine they'll put over Undisputed Era because I think they're pushing Adam Cole to a title shot.
Okay, go ahead.
I love Adam Cole. But there's a clip out there of Ricochet's original finisher on the Indies. It's a double moonsault.
They ain't ready.
He's going to do something so crazy in this match.
They ain't
enjoy
ready.
it. Kick your feet up and enjoy every
Get your
second
popcorn,
of it.
Because I got to go to Tucson. So I'm like, do I need to wake up at 10 o'clock, hit the mall, come back so I can be in my chair to enjoy this? I need to be home by 3 o'clock because I probably think they're 2 hours ahead. So I think I need to be back on the road. I can't stop at Cheesecake Factory, so I'm not going to get there. So I'm going to come straight home. Yeah, I need to be gone by 10 o'clock. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to bed at...
Math right there.
Yeah, that's time management because, hey, there's nothing in these mountains, so I got to go somewhere.
That's true. So let's talk about Survivor Series happening Sunday, Big 4 pay-per-view. The pre-show's got the 5-on-5 tag team elimination match. I know all his names. Team Raw, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. I don't know why you're a tag team. The Revival, the B Team, the Lucha House Party, and the Ascension versus Team SmackDown, the Usos, the New Day, Sanity, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and the Colognes. The one thing you should take away from this match, the tag division is garbage. Trash. I thought we were going to tag team Revival with what happened in NXT a couple years ago. I was wrong. There are 2 tag teams on the entire roster, and they're on the same team in this match as the Usos and the New Day. I do not care about your pre-sale match. I'm sorry. I just don't.
And my thing is that the New Day is your selling tag team. They are your selling tag team. That SmackDown, what are they doing with Big Show?
We'll talk about him next, actually, because in a Raw versus SmackDown matchup, AOP, the Raw Tag Team Champions with Drake Maverick, will be taking on The Bar with Big Show. I've got AOP in this one because I think they've got to
over the top.
They've got to build this team because they can't miss because we just went through the rest of the roster and it's horrible.
I'm like,
The bar can take the loss. They'll make the kids look good, and I'm fine with it. Like, let's just get it over with. It's going to be a fine match because Cesaro and Sheamus are such good workers.
yeah,
It's
they
interesting.
did. There was a great tag team combination.
Oh,
Right
they're great. But I'll tell you what, it's really weird to watch AOP because they used to tear through NXT because they were the biggest cats in the world. You get to the roster and like Seth Rollins has an inch on one of them. And I was like, yo, y'all aren't that big, huh?
Yeah, this is like what? Look, this is like college kids going to the NFL. On campus, get to the NFL.
There you go. That was big.
The Peterman. There you go.
Oh no, that's we'll talk about him on Sunday. Next up, Buddy Murphy taking on Mustafa Ali for the Cruiserweight Championship. Look, I know people don't watch 205 Live, and I understand it's not exactly appointment viewing. These motherfuckers be wrestling.
They do.
Yo, like Buddy Murphy might be my favorite wrestler in WWE right now.
Mustafa is a beast.
Yo, Mustafa Ali this shit. He hit a 450. People don't watch. He hit a 450 on Hideo Itami on the apron. That was both beautiful and horrifying.
Like I said, my brother, he's like, have you watched it? I'm like, no, I haven't watched it. He's like, you need to watch it, that boy. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, just go watch it. And I looked, I'm like, call on him, Lord. Call on him. Protect him in the blood of Jesus. Protect him.
He's not going to win because the babyface is going to chase and because Buddy Murphy's had that title for about 27 seconds. But I hope they get to open up the actual Survivor Series pay-per-view because they will set a pace and be like, follow that. And they will set it because they do that shit on Wednesdays when no one's watching.
And my thing is, go ahead. Now, so my thing is that, the NXT gave them such a beautiful bump before WrestleMania, and they still won't do it right. I'm like, what, Vince? What do you got this? What do you not? Vince, come on.
Look, you're right on one hand. On the other hand, I don't want Vince anywhere near because I just need them to go out there and say, hey, you got 20 minutes. Go show us what you got. And let the two boys just work because when they work, they move so fast and they hit so hard, it's horrifying sometimes. I'm not talking about
like Vince touching. I'm talking about the lead in that they would give them, like the boost. I'm like, you don't want. Okay, Vince, you win. I've been fighting you for 30 years, and I've never been right.
He's still changing. We want him to, but he won't. 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. Team Raw: Mickie James, Nia Jax, Tamina, Natalya, and Ruby Riott with Alexa Bliss managing, I guess.
Hold on. The smartest person of all that mess was Alexa Bliss.
Well, no, you know what happened? She got 2 concussions too quickly.
Yeah, and as far as like viewership goes, it was smart. I'm like, Alexa, because Alexa Bliss scared out of it. No, Alexa Bliss knew what was coming. She got on down. That was the get on down. That she like, I don't want this.
She ran up that ramp like, nope, no problems here. No,
none at all. Don't want none of that.
Team SmackDown will be Carmella, Naomi, Sonya Deville, Asuka, and they didn't announce a 5th member because Charlotte's going to wrestle Ronda, so I assume it's going to be one of the Iconics.
It got to be one of the Iconics. Because I don't see who else they will put in there. It has to be another one.
I think so too. The thing about it is, I'm not going to bet against Asuka. I think that they know they've got an instant feud for Becky whenever they want with Asuka, and if they want to go ahead and give me Becky Asuka for the next 2 months, thank you very much.
Thank you, because why won't you push Asuka? Please tell me what.
So I've heard this argument too. Here's my thing. There's only so much time on the show. So they've only got, maybe they're not pushing Asuka, they're keeping her on TV, letting her be in our minds, so that when they decide to push Asuka, like to make her a title contender right now, it doesn't feel out of left field. The people you should worry about are the ones who are making TVs. She's making TVs. I feel like you can't push everyone all the time, and I get that. And right now it's Becky's turn to get pushed, but she's going to need a new foil. And that new foil is going to be the Empress of Tomorrow. Yo, just give me 2 good months of Becky versus Asuka. Just beating the hell out of each other, please.
Because if the rumors I've heard and seen on, down, I done trolled down in a few places. The end game was supposed to have been Charlotte and Ronda at WrestleMania. That was the rumors I seen. So if Charlotte beats Ronda, she's gonna go. They said she's gonna go back to Raw. So you need something on SmackDown to push. And like you say, if you give me 2-3 good months of Asuka versus Becky, you got me for a whole year.
We gonna be all right. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, what can you tell us? We gonna be all right. Give me a few months, and then you can bring along. You can throw in some of the iconics in there. It's different things you can do. But I'm not saying just push her not to.
Right. But you're saying let it be her story for a while, because you're right. It's time for it to be her story, and I'm here for it. She was
killing on NXT. I mean, killing on NXT.
But that's also what I think, that they say that once they've seen you succeed in the past, they know that they can heat you up whenever they want, like they did with Dean Ambrose recently, and how they've reinvigorated Bryan, which we'll talk about in a second. But I don't want to get cocky. Like, just let's do it now. It seems smart now. Asuka, Becky, it seems like a layup. Make it happen. Seth Rollins, the Intercontinental Champion, is taking on Shinsuke Nakamura, U.S. Champion. And I had to go to some very boring websites to try to find match history. These two never even met in like Ring of Honor on the Indies. I think this is the first time they've ever wrestled.
They didn't mean it Ring of Honor?
No, because Shinsuke was still doing his young boy stuff over in New Japan, and he was like kind of revitalizing the brand as the Intercontinental Champion over there when Tyler Black was making his run. And by the time Seth got over here and became NXT champion, Shinsuke was, that's when Shinsuke was making his world title runs. So no, there was never any overlap. This is going to be like I think it ends poorly, because I think Dean Ambrose gets himself involved because he's conspicuously off the pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah, I smell that one. Yeah.
Until that bullshit happens, we're in for a good match.
Yeah. Because I don't think they've handled Shinsuke right, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't think they handled him right, because, Shinsuke can, and he can do beautiful things. He can do, and you get him with Seth, that can be beautiful.
Yo, for my money, Seth's the best wrestler on the planet right now. Because every week, no matter who he's with, he pulls out a class, he pulls out a great match. And it's so funny because people say, oh, there's things they're not letting him do. Yo, go watch his matches again. He's working an indie moveset. He's working Ring of Honor ballrooms, except it just happens to be arenas. He's working the same speed, same style he was at ROH. And is it a little bit safer because he has to do it every night now? Yeah. But it's still I don't think there's a list of things they're not letting him do anymore, because I saw him do a reverse superflex into a reverse Falcon Arrow at SummerSlam on Dolph Ziggler. And yeah, they're letting him do whatever he wants, and God bless him for it. I think Dean Ambrose gets involved. I think Dean Ambrose ruins the end of this match for us. But
he basically saved the Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman fight. He basically saved that one, because let's not, it was a tad bit boring. I'm not gonna, until everybody started coming. Until Seth came and did that off did the what did he do? The moonsault? What did he do? When he came and did that, I was like, oh, well, let me go and watch the rest of this match, because I'm about to change it. Because I'm like, okay, I'm about to change this, and then I'm like, oh, well, let me, baby, get up, baby. Oh, you got up. Thank you, Jesus. Praise you.
Next up, we've got the 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. Team Raw, Ziggler, McIntyre, Strowman, Finn Balor, and Bobby Lashley versus Team SmackDown, Miz, Shane McMahon, Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe, and Jeff Hardy. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fun. I'm going to unpopular opinion. Thank you. Shane, I'm about sick and damn tired of you putting yourself in these matches.
Hello?
You there?
Yeah, my internet. Oh God, I don't want to. My internet is acting like an internet. Why Shane McMahon? Why?
They keep putting him in these matches, and I keep being like, look, either he's going to do something underwhelming, or he's going to get seriously hurt. Do you remember when he took that spear from Roman?
Oh my God! I said,
his eyes locked out, like he was out. Like people say, oh, they don't sell. I'm like, yo, I played football. I've seen unconscious people. He was unconscious.
He was one Mississippi, two Mississippi. He was gone. He was one Mississippi, two. I'm like, oh baby, get up,
the other side.
Get up.
You look at the other side, Drew McIntyre, Braun, Bobby Lashley. Those are people who could hurt Shane McMahon. That's a lot of money to be thrown around that ring.
Hurt is not the word. That man just survived a plane crash. No.
He keeps trying it though.
He
I think
keeps trying
Braun.
to.
I think Raw wins. I think Braun's your your last man standing because it looks like they have to push him with the unfortunate news about Roman. Ronda
No,
Rousey.
my thing is, what Jordans are Shane gonna show up in? That's what I watch for. See what Jordan's gonna show up in.
what Jordan gets out of.
That still, but what Jordan's he gonna show up in? That's the most important thing. Since I didn't watch that the Drown of the Cool, I don't know what Jordans he wore, so
Ronda Rousey taking on Charlotte Flair. We talked about this for a minute. Who do you think wins though? You think Charlotte goes over?
Charlotte, because if she won't be able to get away with what she got away with the Bailey them. So no. I'm gonna call it Bailey them because it's just Bailey them. So my thing is Charlotte is a better. She's gonna have to step her game up because Charlotte is a better in-ring performer.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlotte, she great mic. So I hate that the card got shuffled like this, but I think they can push that. If they're gonna do what I heard they're gonna do, I think they can push that for a couple of months. If they're gonna do what they're gonna put Charlotte back on Raw, I think they can push that because you're not putting Nia back on Ronda's Ronda's radar, so you need somebody over there to give her a push. So if Charlotte is gone, because I had to ask my brother, it's the draft after Survivor Series, because I kept forgetting when the draft is. So if you're gonna push it, you're gonna have to get Charlotte over to Raw, some kind of way. So, because who's Ronda gonna fight?
Right. Who's gonna be the next big feud? I think you're right. If the rumor holds up, I'd see Charlotte going over because that's a homemade feud. Before Nia punched Becky in the face, I thought this would all end with Nia and Tamina interfering and Becky and Ronda keeping her streak alive. But I don't think you can involve Nia. Ronda is not a commodity that they're going to risk being in the ring with Nia. And I think you're right. I think hook or crook, Charlotte's got to take the win and then go to Raw and take her on for that title. And that's going to be kind of the holding pattern until we get Ronda Becky at Mania. Hopefully in a main event. I said it. I meant it.
I mean, look, we're going to put this out here in the universe. We let main event that.
Let the man main event Mania.
Oh, and you know? Oh, you just got me. I'm about to shout for Jesus. Look at glory be to God. Let that main event.
I want to shout happily, but I don't know about this last match on the card. Daniel Bryan, who turned heel on Tuesday night and won the WWE title from AJ Styles, who's now off the card, which is just, you haven't had many cards where AJ wasn't on it in the last 2 years. It's very interesting to see. But he's taking on Brock Lesnar. Before Bryan retired the first time, we always said this is kind of the dream match. We wanted to see kind of how would Bryan tell a story with this beast. Now, after 2 retirements later, I don't feel great about watching Bryan get dumped on his head for an hour.
Because it's going to happen.
Brock does certain things, and one of those things is throws German suplexes in a very dangerous manner. Shout out to the Singh brothers.
Suplex City is coming.
I've heard it's a destination for Mr. Bryan. The thing about it is we saw a variation of this match last year when AJ took on Brock, and it was kind of the underdog and the little guy trying to chip away at the big guy. And I thought they told a really good story that way.
It was a good story. I thought AJ was going to come out on top. I really did.
And that's the beauty of what Brock does, because everyone says, oh, Brock doesn't love pro wrestling. Brock sold his ass off for AJ last year. So if he's in there with someone he knows will push him, he'll sell for you. He'll tell a story with you. And I think that if Bryan embraces this heel persona,
it's going to be good.
He can take that next step that AJ couldn't finish. I'm picking Bryan over Brock.
I am too. For some reason, with that heel turn, that's why I was like, when I was going to inbox you, I'm like, that heel turn makes this Brock match very interesting.
It's a completely different monster. It's a completely different monster now.
I'm like, what? Where is it time for AJ to go on vacation? Did he need to go home and spend time with the family? Because I didn't see that one coming. I'm like,
let's they announced the title match for SmackDown, it was on my radar that, they could do a quick switch here. But Bryan going heel, I guess I should have seen it coming because he's been kind of stale and kind of flat since the initial, oh my God, Bryan's back push. And then there was that awful feud with Big Cass. And he kind of settled into he's getting obligatory pops and putting on decent matches with The Miz. But heel Bryan? I don't know what that looks like anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Heel Bryan, I did not see coming. Because, like I said, we expected I troll the internet. I'm a great troller. I've been told I can troll with the best of them. And I didn't see any hints of it around nobody's timeline. Nobody's read it. Nobody's nothing. I'm like, and then when it happened, I'm like, oh, you're trying to make this Survivor Series interesting. Okay. All right. Let's see what you're doing, Shane. Come on. Produce me, man. Come on. Entertain me, Shane. That's what I want.
On the same night I got bummed out that we're losing Becky, I got to be greeted by a Brock Lesnar Daniel Bryan match. And I can't ask for anything else. We're both taking Bryan. Look at us. We're crazy people.
I know. And it's going to disappoint me when Brock wins.
I don't think it's going to be the squash. I know there was rumors like he just comes out and dominates Bryan. I don't think that happens at all.
No, I don't think so.
I am, the human part of me is worried about Bryan's well-being, but the wrestling fan of me is like, he knows what he's doing. I'm going to trust Bryan.
Have somebody to, like you said, if Brock has somebody to push him and make him work, he's going to work. And I think Bryan is going to push him, make him work hard, and, and I think I think Bryan's going to take Heyman out quickly. So
early.
Yeah, Heyman's not going to be able to interfere, or he may take him out midway, but he's going to take Heyman out. So it's going to be pure entertainment between him and Brock, because he's going to go visit the city of Suplex. He's going to go visit it. He may visit it a couple of times. I think the 5 of the F is going to come see him too, but Brock is going to get some of them yes kicks, and I can see them coming, because like you said, if Brock's pushed and he's good match, it's going to be great. And Daniel will push him, and I'm hoping for Daniel winning. The back of my subconscious is saying Brock's going to win it, but it's going to be a very entertaining match. Very entertaining.
And that's all we can ask for.
That's it.
Taz, thank you so much for coming on, previewing all this and talking about the gospel of the Man Becky Lynch. I do appreciate it.
As always, man, anytime you need somebody to come in to talk man soap, I am here for you. I have no life, I'm just waiting on the game to come on, and I'm here, man. It's as always, to harken back to my Morning Jones days. Fuck Mario Chalmers.
I wasn't gonna say anything either. I was like, yo, I'm gonna leave Mario out of this. Everybody talking about Mario. I'm gonna leave Mario out of this.
It's forever, forever and always. Each moment with you.
Why would it change now?
Fuck Mario Chalmers. It's like a dream come true.
Always and forever.
Every day.
This has been UD Pod. I'm your host, Steve Palm. That was your show. This is your outro. See you guys next week.